Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The laughter around the dinner table died the moment my wife turned to me and said, "Can you sit a little farther, please? You're making me uncomfortable." I froze, my fork halfway to my mouth. Around us, her colleagues, people I barely knew, looked up from their wine glasses, curious but silent. Her tone wasn't angry, it was embarrassed, the kind of sharp whisper meant to protect pride. I glanced at her, confused, my chest tightening. "I'm just sitting next to you," I murmured. She forced a smile for the others. "He's joking," she said, brushing it off before I could speak again. But under the table, her hand pulled her chair a few inches away. Something inside me cracked, quietly, invisibly, but deep. The restaurant was dim, filled with the low hum of laughter and clinking glasses. Candles flickered between plates of half-eaten pasta. I shifted to the end of the table as she'd asked, my throat dry, my palms cold. She didn't look at me again. She was busy laughing at something her boss said, her hand resting a little too comfortably on her wine glass, her shoulders angled toward him. I tried to swallow the bitter taste in my mouth. Maybe she was just nervous. Maybe she didn't want to mix personal and professional life. She'd said before she hated how affectionate I could be in public. I told myself that was it, that I was overthinking. Then another woman sat beside me. She had kind eyes, mid-30s, and wore a dark blue dress that shimmered softly in the candlelight. She smiled, gentle but knowing. "You're her husband, right?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah. Olivia's." "I'm her co-worker, Natalie," she said, extending her hand. "She talks about you sometimes." I smiled faintly. "Only sometimes." She tilted her head, her smile fading just slightly. "You don't come to many of these dinners, do you?" "No," I admitted. "She usually says it's just for the team." Natalie's gaze lingered on me a moment longer than expected. There was pity there, or maybe caution. "She's very close with her boss," she said softly. I looked toward Olivia, who was laughing again, leaning in to whisper something to the man beside her. He had a hand on the back of her chair. She didn't move it away. "She's ambitious," I said, forcing a smile. "Yes," Natalie said, her voice low. "She is." For the next hour, I sat in silence, my food untouched. Every sound, the clink of her bracelet when she gestured, the husky laughter that wasn't meant for me, scraped against my nerves. The lights blurred slightly as my eyes watered. I blinked fast, pretending it was from the wine. When the dinner ended, she didn't walk beside me. She lingered behind, chatting with her boss while I stood by the door like an outsider waiting for permission to belong. In the car, the air was heavy with perfume and silence. "You didn't have to sit so far away," she said suddenly, checking her reflection in the mirror. I turned my head slowly. "You asked me to." Her jaw tightened. "It was a joke, Michael. You made it awkward." I stared at her profile, the soft curve of her lips, the faint smudge of lipstick where she'd laughed too hard. "You made me feel like I was embarrassing you." She sighed. "You're being dramatic." I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, "Who is he?" Her eyes flicked toward me, then back to the road. "Who?" "Your boss." My voice cracked. "The one who makes you laugh like that." Her knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. "Don't start." "I'm not starting anything," I said quietly. "I'm just asking if I should stop pretending." Her silence was the answer. When we reached home, she went straight to the bedroom. I sat in the living room for hours, staring at the framed photo of us from our honeymoon. 2 kids smiling under a pink sky, unaware that trust could someday rot in the smallest of silences. At midnight, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Natalie, I shouldn't get involved, but you deserve the truth. They left together after you went to the car. He dropped her off an hour later." I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. Then I typed back. "Me, thank you." I didn't sleep that night. I listened to the faint hum of the air conditioner, her soft breathing beside me. She smelled of the same perfume she wore to the dinner. I closed my eyes and imagined her laughter echoing in someone else's car. Morning light crept through the blinds, painting stripes across our bed. She stirred, stretched, and mumbled, "Morning." I looked at her, memorizing her face, the woman I'd loved for 8 years, the one who'd asked me to sit far away because I embarrassed her. "Olivia," I said, my voice steady. "I know." Her eyes opened, confusion flashing before guilt replaced it. She sat up slowly. What do you mean?" I held up my phone. "Natalie told me." She didn't deny it. She just looked away, her shoulders sagging as if the weight she'd been carrying finally crushed her. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she whispered. "It just did. He listens to me, Michael. He sees me." The words sliced clean through me. "And I don't?" I asked, my voice trembling. Her eyes filled with tears. "You do. But somewhere along the way, we stopped hearing each other." For a long time, I said nothing. Then I stood, walked to the window, and stared at the morning light. I wanted to hate her. I wanted to scream. But all I felt was an empty ache where love used to live. She came up behind me, her reflection faint in the glass. "Can we fix this?" she asked. I turned, meeting her gaze. "You asked me to sit far away," I said quietly. "And I think I finally understand why. You'd already moved away long before that dinner." Her lips parted, but no sound came. I picked up my jacket, walked to the door, and paused. "You wanted space, Olivia. Now you have it." When I stepped outside, the morning air was sharp and cold, but it felt clean, like the first breath after drowning. I didn't look back. Maybe one day, I'd remember her laugh without feeling my chest cave in. But not today. Today, distance was all I had left. And this time, I didn't need anyone to tell me to sit far away.